Hi, I'm Mickey from the Shawano County Library, and for this month's DIY, we are doing canvas art magnets. So make sure you call and get set up to pick up your kit or stop in on Mondays and Thursdays when we're open. Your kit is going to include 4 sheets of coloring pages that you can choose from for your artwork. You're going to have magnets, and you're going to have 3 little canvases in the bag. When we're done, they're going to look kind of like this, and it'll just be a fun way to share notes and arts and things like that on your refrigerator or wherever. So we used some different adult coloring books that we have here in the library, and we just photocopied some pages out of those. A lot of different patterns you can choose from, whatever your style or taste is. And what I did was use a lot of colored pencils. I liked to do some shading, some different colors. I wanted some variety, and that's what I went with. So you can see here I've started this one. I wanted to do something a little different, and I used just some Sharpie markers in the fine print. And while I liked the vibrant color, I didn't like all of the white space that you see around on here. So what I did was actually come back through with a colored pencil, and I just went over that to kind of fill in some of that white space. So I'm still getting the very vibrant color, but a little less white. So that would work just fine. So the first thing I'm going to do here is paint the edge, because we want that to start to dry before we cut and glue on there. So these are just little bottles of acrylic paints you can pick up at Walmart. These are really, really old. They were donated, so the bottle might not look exactly like that anymore. And I'm just going to paint the outside edge. So you have a border like the other magnets that are already done here. You'll see there's just a little bit of color on the edge. I did a couple of coats and then let it dry, and I tried to get the edges nicely done as well. I just want to get that drying while we work on the rest here. Okay, so once you have colored in your portion of the page that you like, we're going to cut it to size. And you can see on here I have a little bit of an edge, so you want to cut your paper a little bit smaller than your actual canvas. So if I kind of measured and then I made a mark here and here, I'll know where to cut. So I'm going to use my paper cutter and line that up. Just cut my square. And I'm going to take the white edge off as well. Get rid of my scrap. And now I have a piece that is going to fit well on my canvas. If for some reason it was a little bit big, you can come back through, which this one actually is, you can come back through and cut a little more off, which will just give you a little bit more of that colored border. There, so now I'll see a little bit more of that pink. Now normally I'd let this dry all the way, but what we're going to use next is Mod Podge. That's going to secure our colored piece on our canvas. But then we're also, when we're done, we're going to go over the whole thing with the Mod Podge to sort of seal it. So I just put a little bit in the middle, and I'm going to go over the back a little bit as well. Now, because I'm kind of hurrying, this is a little messy looking. My hands are all full of paint, but if you were at your table, you could clean that up as you go. So once this is on here, then you just want to put a thin coat of the Mod Podge, starting from the middle, pulling your brush out. This will pull out any air bubbles that might be under your paper. And then you see how this corner is sticking up a little bit. I'm just going to put a little glue underneath And then when I come back with the Mod Podge, that will stick down as well. I did try and get all the way around, all the edges. And then I let that dry, and I added another coat just to seal it and give it a little bit of a shine. So then when we're finished with that and this has all dried, we'll come back through and we'll put our magnets on. So in your kit you have several of these little disc magnets, and I'm just going to use some hot glue. And I'm going to put it on the canvas instead of trying to put it on the magnet because I'm a little klutzy and I'm sure I would burn myself. And I'm just going to poke that on there and let that dry for a moment. And we'll do the next one. I'm not going to do the pink one since that's drying. Once those have dried, you are ready to go to attach those to whatever you have with some canvas art magnets. Now make sure you watch next month starting in September for our next DIY. We're going to be on Facebook Live. See you then. Thanks.